Hello everyone and welcome to the first Challenger Misfortune analysis of the new season. So preseason is over, new season 9 has finally started, and obviously I'm bringing back the Challenger analyses. During off-season this didn't really make sense because nobody was trying that hard anyway, and also many Misfortune players were just experimenting with other champions. But Emdiel has started strong already. He obviously has not hit Challenger yet, because the season is just a few days old, but he's already in Diamond, and still going strong with the Misfortune pick. His rune setup, he used to play Dark Harvest a lot, but he got rid of it after its nerfs. So after the rework it got nerfed twice, and now it's just too bad really on Misfortune, and he goes with Arcane Comet. So he started with his W, which makes sense, so he can push for the level 2 advantage. This is what I recommend you as well. If you play Misfortune, always start W. And on level 2 he took a point into Q, alright. He started Doran's Blade and not Corrupting Potion, which makes his E ability a little bit too expensive, even though he has Manaflow banned. So it makes sense that he puts points into Q. Well, his Rune Page, let me first get that out of the way. So he goes Arcane Comet, Manaflow banned, Absolute Focus, Gathering Storm with Eyeball Collection and Ultimate Hunter. So he takes every attack damage rune that he can get, and well, then Ultimate Hunter, because it puts a lot of emphasis on his ultimates. So he goes fully Lethality Misfortune, and the special thing about Emdiel's playstyle is he never goes for boots, so he just skips them entirely. He goes all damage items, so so he can kind of power creep the enemy champions, and he does stay mobile in combat with Yomu's Ghostblade obviously. And rotations are still fine as well because of Yomu's Ghostblade's passive movement speed and the active, which allows him to also be somewhat mobile in combat. So, oh, he took a tower shot there, that's not good. But he already poked down the Ezreal by quite a bit, so the way you want to play this matchup is, well, first of all, if you just shove Ezreal in, he does not really have the opportunity to do much because he doesn't have any wave clear. And as long as you can dodge his Qs, he also doesn't get that much out of his Kleptomancy. And yeah, there we see the barrage of Make It Rains. Put 1 point into every ability so far. And his mana pool is still okay-ish, I would guess, but he needs to be careful not to run soon. Also Sejuani support, I haven't seen that really. Oh, there's the Shaco, alright, but nothing really happened. Obviously this might be a little bit harder against a poke support, but even then, most poke supports are skill shot reliant. Nice. Yeah, most, in higher elo especially, people don't position themselves in a way that allows you to hit Qs like this, but here it worked out. So as I said, well, most poke supports are very skill shot reliant, and obviously Misfortune with her W movement speed is very good at dodging those, so also not that big of a problem there. But still, you need to be skillful enough to do that actually. And if you get hit, you get punished majorly because you even lose your movement speed. Oh, there you got hit by a Q. That's not supposed to happen. And I also think that with this setup, so with Gathering Storm especially, Lethality Misfortune does outscale Ezreal in the late game. Oh, there's the Shaco. I was wondering if he was still around. Yeah, makes sense. Flash comes out. But the Shyvana with the counter gank, that was very fortunate. Yeah, so I guess the Shyvana saw that Shaco showed himself bot side earlier, and that she decided to play around bot side for that reason. And also there's a dragon on the map, obviously, and Shyvana wants to take those. Especially after her recent buffs, which allows her to take dragons even more efficiently. But yes, the counter gank very devastating there, and they both, all of Red Team got away with their lives. Well, Misfortune had to burn her summoner there, but obviously way better than dying. Right, the dragon is almost down. Yeah, they can just recoil, she doesn't need any help. And now Red Team has an Ocean Drake in the lane phase, which makes things ridiculously easy, especially for Misfortune, because you do not have to be worried about your mana pool as much. So on his first back, Emdiel bought himself another Doran's Blade, which is odd. I didn't really expect that, because Misfortune can just stack long swords and upgrade them very efficiently. So another Doran's Blade and a Serrated Dirk. I wonder why. Emdiel, if you're watching, can you please explain? Because I would think that long swords are way better in the long run. Well, on the other hand, by not buying boots, you have an extra slot in your inventory, so this might not be as bad. Who knows, maybe Emdiel has theory crafted something. I wonder. Alright, and he's maxing Q straight away. I'm not a fan of this. I think Emax is way better. And, well, of course, if you don't have the mana pool to support E, then you kind of have to go Q max, but you can easily circumvent that by buying a Corrupting Potion. But in this case, you have an Ocean Drake. There's really no reason not to max E in this situation. But Emdiel maxes Q, probably out of habit. Concerns for his mana, maybe. But again, with an Ocean Drake, you can definitely afford to max E if you have Manaflow banned, even when you go for a Doran's item instead of Corrupting Potion. Just noteworthy to point out. Ezreal on his buy with a bunch of mana and a Sheen. So he has a little bit of damage on his Q, but he's kind of in a power trough because he spent so much of his gold on mana on his first back. So yeah, Sona very poke heavy, Misfortune also kind of poke heavy, even without Emax. And it already shows Ezreal is almost half, yeah, now he's half health. Even lower. And if you don't get yourself hit by, or if you don't take a hit from Ezreal's Q, then Ocean Drake will also stay active. Because remember, it's active for as long as you don't get hit by champions, so minion aggro won't break it. You see this kind of green shimmer thing around Sona and Misfortune? That means that they are currently regenerating their resources through Ocean Drake. Oh, yikes. That was brutal. Let's see that again. Alright, so obviously they are way overextended. There's no doubt about that. And there comes the initiation with the Shaco and the Shen. Yeah, this is a 4-man bot. Very well coordinated with the Shen on top of it. And unlucky timing for the Sona to try to engage. As a jungler, you always want to gank a lane that is currently trading. Or even fighting, that's even better for you. So very unfortunate timing. MF goes down, Sona goes down. The kills, however, do not go to the enemy bot lane, so it could be worse for them. I think they're still up in gold. Can I see that? 2934. Yes, so MF is still the gold advantage because, well, on the one hand, a little bit more farm. On the other hand, they got 3 platings, and the enemy bot lane did not get any kills. So bot lane is... so Misfortune is still ahead here. The Misfortune Sona lane is still ahead compared to the Ezreal Sejuani lane. Mainly because of the turret platings. Yes, but this was rather greedy. It would obviously be better to not die and not take too many platings as an exchange. So Shaco just disconnected, I hope he comes back, else the game that I've chosen here happens to be rather bad for an analysis. But they do get another plating. Ezreal is currently alone in lane, and Sona, especially Sona with an... ah, there he is. Okay, so especially Sona with an Ocean Drake is very, very strong, because, well, Sona is very limited in lane due to her mana pool as well. But if she can just spam away on her abilities due to Ocean Drake, then she and her lane partner will never run out of resources. Max in Q though, so no W max from the Sona. Putting more emphasis on her poke damage there. Yeah, but it's fine. It's very difficult to contest this control ward. Yeah, this is why Emdiel also doesn't do it. Shaco is right around the corner, so had they contested this control ward, they would be dead right now. This is something I struggle with most of the time. Always try to quickly and sneakily take out the control ward while I'm already there. and then I die. Yeah, so it's very good not to contest this ward. Well, if you see the enemy jungler top and you have lane priority, then you can do it. But this is really the only case. Alright, so Infernal is on the map. Shaco dodges the Sona ulti. Very nice positioning coming from the MF here, and the clutch heal on the Sona. So we can have a look again. Right, so Sona ults right there, Shaco ults. This is how he dodges the Sona ults, right? Very nice timing. It looks like on reaction, really. And Misfortune has a very good position because, well, the Shyvana pushes them forward away from the Misfortune and tanks the Sejuani ult, which allows Misfortune to ult them without being interrupted. Yeah, this fight is very much in Red Team's favor, and they can take Infernal off of this. And an Infernal Drake is obviously huge for Misfortune. She scales so well with attack damage. And Emdiel taking every attack damage rune in the game, he benefits the most from it, obviously. But also is very good for Sona and for Kassadin and for Cannon. Alright, Ezreal kind of accepting his fate here in the lane, using his ult to farm. That's probably back, I would guess. Yeah, he went back, as we see. Alright. So this should be another plating. Next objective on the map is the Rift Herald. So Shyvana might want to play around top lane, and also Shaco. Yeah, 1.6k gold, that's a lot. This is a oh yes, Emdiel rushes Duskblade. I will release a video on this soon. I think, well, for Emdiel, the argument for Duskblade is that he took Eyeball Collection, and Duskblade allows him to stack it faster. And also it's just 3 more lethality, and Emdiel likes his damage. But especially when you go for no boots Misfortune, I personally would say that Ghostblade first is better. Because you need the active to stay mobile in combat. Right, the Shyvana apparently popping off there. Scoring a double kill on the top side. So if you have a look here, Emdiel maxes Q first, W second, and 1 point in E. He has been during preseason experimenting with putting 3 points into E and then maxing Q and then W, but he apparently has gone back to straight Q max, which again I'm not a fan of. Oh, this might be bad. Yeah, the Misfortune should just keep running. There's no point in ulting here really. Only gives the Twisted Fate an opportunity to throw a gold card. Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, I don't like the ulti there. Kind of a desperate ultimate. And also, well, top lane is taken, bot lane is taken, but oh, the TF's getting huge. But they should now be looking to take this mid turret. And Shyvana still has the Rift Herald, which she got after scoring the double kill on top lane. So mid turret is generally speaking the most difficult one to take, because you cannot really dive it properly. It is protected from both sides. Reinforcements are there very quickly from anywhere on the map. Okay, this tower is gone. Attack speed Twisted Fate, eh? I see. This is a man of culture. Yeah, so Red Team losing their mid turret first is a big deal. It opens up the map widely, even more so than the outer turrets here. Because now, well, this mid turret is also a big ward, if you want to put it like this, and stops you from being invaded through this path and through this path. But now blue team can easily do that. Alright, so Emdiel with Another Serrated Dirk, which goes into his Ghost Blade, obviously. Okay, so... I'm sorry. I kind of have a cough today. Sona gets caught out. She's dead. And now Emdiel has to make a choice. I personally would think, okay, this is a doomed fight. This is 3 versus 2. And my support is almost down. I should probably back off. But on the other hand, here the Sejuani is kind of low. And if she doesn't have her Aftershock available, then she's not as tanky. But she does get away with Flash. And yeah, 2 waves from the ultimate were enough to finish off the Twisted Fate right there. The Shaco dies to the Shyvana. So, was okay. I still would prefer just running away there and not dying. Because when you're dead as an ADC you cannot even farm, and you need farm a lot. But, well, Emdiel did have the damage with his no boots full damage item page to at least trade 1 for 1. Or 2 for 2 rather. So it could be worse overall. Right, there is a dragon coming. It is a Mountain Drake. Also very important Drake to take. Not only because you have a Shyvana on the team, but also because it allows you to take Baron way quicker. And the Dragon Pit is warded. I'm not a fan of that. I really only advise you to take dragons when there's or objectives when there is a control ward in the pit. Because the risk of it getting stolen is just so high. Yeah, you saw Shaco had a good shot at getting the timing right to just smite steal it and pour it away with his Q. Kind of an unnecessary risk. You can avoid it by putting a control ward in the pit so they cannot see the health bar of the dragon. Well, it worked out in the end. Red team got another dragon there. Right, so now there's no objective on the map really, and Baron has still 2 more minutes to spawn. It is kind of risky to push far down these lanes, and this tower is also kind of difficult to take even though it's low health. It's very risky. So what you should be doing now is you farm your jungle and you push as well as from Miss Fortune's point of view, you push the lane past river and then you use your out of combat movement speed steroids to roam to the next lane and do the same there. So you apply pressure everywhere on the map. And obviously if the enemy are threatening to take your towers, you should respond to that immediately. But kinda too late there. Unfortunate. Alright. Shaco goes down. So now they could fight 3 versus 5 and win. So, or 5 versus 3 rather. Okay. Kind of using the ult to close off this jungle path. Kind of like a zoning ult, which worked out because the remaining 3 members of the enemy team couldn't really get grouped. They had to split up, dodging the ult this way and this way. So red team had an easy cleanup in the end. Very effective to use Misfortune ult like this. It has it's obviously not wide enough to cover an entire lane, but when you fight in the jungle like this, you can use it to block off entire jungle paths, as we saw here. Which, well, ultimately won them the team fight. Obviously, it was 5 versus 3, so it was to be expected. But you still need to manage your resources effectively. Don't want to burn an unnecessary flash because you mispositioned or something. Alright, and what do we have here? A pickaxe. Alright, so what Emdiel typically does is he buys Lord Dominic's Regards as a 3rd item, which is fine. You don't really need Black Cleaver when you have Ultimate Hunter because well, the only cooldown you really care about is your ultimate cooldown, and that's getting buffed by Ultimate Hunter already. So there's not really a need to go to 40% CDR. And Lord Doms is just a lot of damage, but if you play around your ulti like this, it's also perfectly fine to go for Edge of Night 2nd. Especially if there's somebody on the enemy team whose CC you need to dodge 100% to get an effective ultimate off. Right, I did not really like this one. What happened here? It's kind of rambling. Alright, so this is kind of an awkward positioning. You don't really want to... As an AD carry, you can never afford to just duel the enemy mid laner during the mid game. When you're 6 items, maybe yes, but during the mid to mid-late game, you do not want to do this. And Twisted Fate has a gold card ready, and he throws it at the Misfortune, which is very dangerous. So MF has to blow her summoners, and well, she ults and hits a Shaco clone. So kind of positioning mistake if you ask me. But it still worked out in the end. Because, well, Misfortune obviously was protected by the Sonar. And, well, she still had her heal. But kind of unnecessary to burn your heal if you can just position it a little bit more effectively. However, you need to keep in mind, the enemy is now 2 members down. Red team has a Mountain Drake, so this Baron is just gone in seconds. Yeah, easy. And this opens up the map big time. Shen might take this turret, yes, but that's about it. You can now... well, Kassadin is a good split pusher because he can hold... he can stand up for himself should he be ganked. He can just port away and be fine. So you can bring the Baron buff, and you should bring the Baron buff onto multiple lanes at once. So you apply a lot of pressure on the map and take some objectives here. This tower, for example, this tower, these are the 2 next best to take. The farther out the tower is, the easier it is to take, generally speaking. So taking this is kind of difficult, because it's very easily protected from the base. But this one and this one will easily fall to the Baron push. But let's see how they do it. I don't like that they are in the jungle right now. You really should make use of your Baron buff. But oh well. Yeah, blue team just got caught out. Had they been grouped, this could have been potentially bad for the red team, but the super fat Twisted Fate was not with them. And so they just get picked off one by one. So this is not as much... This is not really good macro play from... crazy. This is not really good macro play from either team. Red team ran into the risk of getting aced in the jungle. Had blue team being grouped, and, well, blue team just let themselves be caught, which lost them the game on the spot. But in theory, you just apply pressure on multiple lanes with Baron buff, and especially at minute 22, it's very difficult to defend against Baron minions. Shyvana just taking the dragon despite the game being over. Right, that's kind of goofy. Yeah, this shows you that it's still a rather mixed elo. Obviously not all of the players in this game are at a challenger level. Emdiel is, I don't know about the others, but yeah, these are some typical diamond mistakes. They also happen in my diamond games when the game is lost, is won rather, on paper. So you should just play it like textbook, apply pressure on multiple lanes and win the game through that. But instead people just greed for kills and pick stupid fights in the jungle. Fortunately though, in this game, blue team picked the more stupid fight, and red team won the game on the spot off of it. But generally speaking, yeah, you really need to make use of a Baron buff of the Baron minions, because this patch, also the combat stats Baron gives are nerfed earlier. So at 20 minutes I think they are half as good, and they scale up to where they were at like minute 40 or something. And so the buffed minions are really the main upside of the Baron buff, and you really need to make use of those. Oh well, but I hope you learned something, I hope you enjoyed this. I do at least one challenger analysis every patch, but apart from that there's daily Misfortune content on this channel, so if you're new, feel free to subscribe. And I hope you have a nice day, and to see you tomorrow. Bye!